Welcome, friends! Lost Guy here, and it's time for the vlog. And dressing up like this instead of putting sunglasses on because I was just recording a 30th anniversary video for a different channel. It's a collaborative thing. And so, well, I'm already set up like this, so why not show it? What is there to talk about? Kirby Forgotten Land, I already talked about it last week. There's nothing to talk about. I'm not going to talk about the war in Ukraine. That's a whole messed up thing going on there. And what is there really to say? It's awful. A lot of people are suffering. People don't deserve to suffer. It really sucks. What's interesting about this one is there's a clear villain here. But you know what's weird? The GOP's still backing him. It's really weird. There are certain members of the GOP who are pro-Putin. And why? Because Trump was trying to do this whole thing with Russia back when he was president, and that whole thing fell out. That's why all this talk has been happening, was happening for years with Trump and Russia. Like, why is Trump so in love with Russia? That was the question during his presidency, and that's the question still now, because right before the invasion, Trump said Putin was genius. And because you need to stick to your man Trump, certain GOP are also saying that Ukraine's the bad guy here. Heaven help us all. Heaven help us all with that craziness. Let's talk about that. How is that possible? And the way it's possible is insanity is the way to answer it. Really, it's you choosing where you get your news from, or your inability to get news from anywhere else. Now, in Russia, they get the fire hose of just, this is the news, this is your only source, this is all you know. And so there are people in Russia who don't even think there's a war going on in Ukraine right now, which is insane. But here in the US, what's going on? This is why the US, it hurts so much more. Because we have people who are pro-Russia, despite all the bullshit with Russia. And it's because of where they willfully get their news from. I still get my news from everywhere I go. Everywhere I can. I'm looking at Politico. I'm looking at Fox, I'm looking at CNN, I'm looking at MSNBC, I'm looking at local news, depending on the subject I'm looking at. I'm looking at Wall Street, I'm looking at, I forgot his name all of a sudden, what's that other one? The guy who used to be the Bloomberg, there you go, looking at Bloomberg. I'm looking at all these different places, like The Hill, and you can see the bends politically across the board when you look at all these different sources, and you can see the angles they're going at. And I do that because I just want to see what are these different angles. And I also go to as neutral as I can, looking at NPR as well, just to see, well, what is everyone saying and how are they saying and things like that. And if you only look at a certain area for a certain subject, it's effing insane. Now, usually, at some point or other, you're going to fall into the trap of propaganda. The entire point of propaganda is to make you believe something. Motorcycle in the background. Whether it's the truth or not, the point of propaganda is to get you to know that information, whether it's real or not, and that's the information that you will disseminate. That is what propaganda is. And so we can all become victims of propaganda for truth or for lie. And so you have the recent thing with, there's a GOP guy who calls freaking Zelensky a thug, and you're like, what the, where is this guy coming from? And you have people, also during the Trump rallies, you had people who were like, I'd rather be a Russian than a Democrat, which is insane. I'd rather be a Russian than still an American. Like, what is that? There's a level of ridiculousness. And you can't say they're just trolls, because there are just people who actually just believe bullshit. There always is. It's crazy. By the way, just jumping off of that, because what else is there to say about Russia? The Freedom Convoy is the stupidest waste of money ever. Unless they're getting paid to do that convoy, that is a waste of people, a waste of money. It is just a waste of time. Why? Because all the mandates, they're just going out the door right now. It's like, we are doing this convoy because we hate all the mandates that are going away as we're driving. Like, all restrictions are going down because we're not in a resurgence right now. Like, what are you doing? You're just wasting time and money. Absolutely wasting time and money. And the thing with this is what it was at BLM? When BLM was happening, I remember a lot of people on the right being really mad about protesters blocking roads and things like that. I'm like, yeah, that's really screwed up. They shouldn't be doing that. The idea is to show your size, show that this is your voter base. You're mad about it, and you're going to be voting inclined. And so politicians should know that they need to react to that. You shouldn't be choking people off from being able to go to work or to go home and things like that. I agreed with that. But then the right started doing it too, and they started doing it more aggressively. And it's just, well, there's the hypocrisy as always. Like, hypocrisy happens all over the damn place, but it happens way too much with the damn right. It really does. They were ruining business up in Canada with that shit, and there was American backing of that, and that's ridiculous. What's insane to me still now is it bothers me how much my bosses buy into the propaganda and the belief that Antifa is behind January 6th. It blows my damn mind. I also remember my boss saying his wife was scared because she works with the police, and so she was voting for Trump on re-election because she was scared of what happened to the police. What did Biden say? What did a lot of Democrats say even then? Not all of them were saying abolish police. They were saying we need to fund them more so that they know what they're doing better. They get better training. And what did Biden do in his State of the Union? He said that too. We need to give them more funding. The police are never going to be defunded. What should be found is alternative uses where you don't need the police necessarily, but other groups. So you could take funding from the police and give it to these other groups so they can deal with these lesser calls that don't need police intervention. Like mental calls, like bringing in people who aren't the police for that would be good. Because police have shot people on mental calls. It's very unfortunate. You can go back and forth on arguing that stuff, but it's complete propaganda. Buying into the propaganda to believe that the police were going to actually be defunded. It's absolutely insane to think we're going to just lose the cops overnight. It's absolutely insane to think we're going to go socialist in 4 years with Biden. Are you kidding me? We've had socialist stuff our entire lives. You and me? Our entire lives we've had social stuff happening in America. Under Democrats and Republicans. Are you kidding? But it's just this buzzword that somehow gets utilized and used like it's freak. We're back at McCarthyism, and it's insane. But that's enough with politics, because really, one more thing about politics, fine. It's hard to trust anyone in government at the end of the day because you know everyone is in the pocket of some business. And that's what's frustrating is somebody, what do you got with the freaking Disney bill? I called it the Disney bill. Holy crap, it's not even... I forget the actual name of the bill, but the bill that's been called Don't Say Gay. Like, that's just part of it. But Disney was putting money into that thing. If you actually read the bill, it's about parents should be told about things that teachers are doing. Parents are allowed to, if they don't like what's being said, that parents can sue and things like that. And there's one sentence that's in there that just feels so out of place because it's more about information and suing than anything else. That is, it just puts in there one sentence that says you can't talk about gender and you can't talk about sexuality. It's just in there. And it feels so out of place. Every time I look at it, I'm like, this entire bill just... It's really weird to have that in there. And that's what happens is they'll just add things into bills. That's what happens. And you look at this like, this bill didn't need that. That, they just put it in there. It's like, you know what? I really would like to just put another thing in there and then they just put it in there. It's like you're a parent and you really want your kid to eat their vegetables. So you make them like a burger and then in the meat patty, as you're making the burger or the meat patty, you just shove in a bunch of cabbage in there. That's what happened there. That's what happened there. They just shoved in something they wanted into this bill that didn't need it. And now it's passed. There's a lot of nitpicking you can make with just the don't say gay part, because people are like, well, gay means only for men. There's other things with sexuality. It's like, fuck all that. Fuck that nitpick right now. That one sentence is a problem. Because the belief that morally you can't talk to kids about homosexuality or about their gender is idiotic to me. And it's weird. It's weird to be mad about that with kids. Like, kids are just gonna be gay. They're just gonna be gay. Or they're going to feel like, if they do feel like they're not their gender, they're just going to feel that. And that's going to happen. That's going to be them. And when they're 18 or whatever, they're going to just be really mad at you that you held them down for so damn long. Also, I said they're going to be gay when obviously, but gay has been used as a general term, and some people don't like that. So they're going to be gay or lesbian, or whatever other thing in the alphabet is the way I'll put it. They're going to be something. Or they're going to be not gay. But really, to be honest, guys, you've been gay with your friends. Like, not like actually doing things, but you've done some very gay stuff with your guy friends. It happened in high school, it happened in college. It's really weird. When you get a bunch of guys together, they get really gay. They really do. But it's played off as a joke. Being real with that, I remember, I'm telling this story now. Oh my god, we're doing this. So in college, there was a guy notorious for teabagging. Tell me that isn't gay. He's just like, everyone's just we're very straight. Everyone here is very straight. But there was one guy who was well known for, if you took a nap and he was around, he was going to teabag you. Gonna call that a straight thing to do? Rubbing your balls on a guy? Like, dudes are gay. Alright, so, take that out of context. Yeah, it didn't need to be in that bill. It's very much a slap in the face to all the LGBT people in Disney and in general who are fans of Disney. It really is a slap in their face. Oh, and Red's out today, so I gotta check that out. Get to finally see what the hell this movie's about with all these dumb people complaining about it. Okay, how about why? Why do I look at all these different news sites? Let's go with that. Why do I take the time to read? Why do I bother reading instead of just taking one side? Why bother reading instead of just taking my side? Because I want to know why the hell sometimes. This is the scientist part of things. Why the hell do you think that? And sometimes it's just what your sources are. It's the people you trust telling you something and you believe them and there you go. I get that. A person of trust is going to tell you something. You're going to believe them. And you're going to believe them and keep believing them no matter what until you get enough evidence that tells you, oh, they were wrong. That's just what happens. Positions of authority. When I was being a supervisor, we were doing like 2 supervisors at another plant just for training. And the other supervisor, because we're at a plant that I wasn't used to, but he was, and he told one of the operators what to do. And the operator's like, all right, okay, I'll do that, because he was a new operator. We just believed the supervisor. Even though it was fundamentally incorrect, I think my co-supervisor was just mistaken or whatever, but I did not know at the time. And so the plant was actually suboptimal for a couple hours. Not in a way that you would worry about. It had to be suboptimal for a long time for you to worry about it. But enough that like it recovered from whatever problem. But it was suboptimal for a while. And it was stressing out the operator, the new operator, because it was like, he doesn't know what's going wrong. He's trying to figure it out. And eventually we figure out it was the thing the supervisor told him to do. The supervisor was mistaken on what to do there. And that's what happens. Person of higher authority tells you to do a thing, you believe them, and sometimes they're mistaken. Humans are fallible. Of course, when it comes to politics, there are humans who are specifically saying the wrong thing on purpose for different reasons. Either because they're trying to create a straw man, or they're just an asshole. Or they're grifting. I've always tried to be even-handed, to a detriment. Which is why I've fallen into the trap of CNN sometimes, of trying to say both sides are shit. The truth is, both sides are shit, but one side is a lot more shit than the other. Honestly. But the truth of the matter is any just propaganda that just makes you think the other side is supervillain evil, you gotta double check that, to be sure. But when you think, like, this is the thing I want to say. This is the problem with my boss. I can't say these things to my boss. My boss believes that being a patriot means you're also a terrorist now. And I just want to say, what the fuck are you talking about? Where did you get that propaganda? I want to straight up say, where did you get that propaganda? Because are you fucking kidding me? He truly believes only Republicans have American flags and that Democrats hate the American flag. Why are you eating that horseshit? Now, the truth of the matter is, there are a couple loonies on the Democratic side who are like that, of course. And they're being used as the example of all of the Democrats for the right. And there are some stupid-ass people on the right who are being used by a lot of Democrats as well as examples. But you just see it so much more with the right as well. I remember this one instance that was really dumb during BLM and they took over whatever town in Seattle, was it? And one white guy comes up and says, "All right, white people, take out your wallet and give a 20 to every black person next to you." And the right just ran with that shit. This one dumbass on the left saying that. Ignoring just all the, usual not stupid shit being said, they ran with that one. Because the problem that I have is there's a lot of stupid takes. Left has them, right has them. Problem is the right has like this much more than the left. And this isn't just me buying the propaganda, as I've said you will fall into that, is you read enough sources, you just see that there's like, okay, we start here. Read a couple more sources. Read a couple more sources. Read a couple more sources. This stuff just gets way worse. It gets way worse. That's why I read all these sources. Because I'm like, all right, what's the angle? Let's see these different angles on this thing. And what's actually the truth going on here? Because truthfully, propaganda, at first I thought it was just the Don't Say Gay bill that was it. That's all it was. I didn't know until I got some pushback that no, it's about parental getting information and being able to sue over certain things. Like, all right, let me read the actual bill then, because I didn't do my due diligence on that. So let me do that. I believed I knew what was going on with this bill. Let me actually read it. And as I said, that one sentence is the one thing that doesn't make any damn sense. And so, yeah, I am against that bill because that makes no sense in that bill. And morally, a bill that was just about that should not happen either. Alright, I was going on a tangent about that with morality. Immoral to have kids talk about these things. Are you kidding me? Whether you talk about them or not, kids will be experiencing these things. And my father was complaining about it because in Eternals, two dudes kiss. And he was complaining because he saw two girls kissing in Hawaii Five-0, and in some other show that he watches, like, they were having more gay kissing. There's been a lot of gay kissing in the stuff he's been watching lately. And it annoys him, because, like, what about kids seeing this? Like, kids should not be watching Hawaii Five-0. Kids should not be watching Eternals. Kids should not be watching any of the shows you listed that have gay kissing in it. They're all violent shows. That's one argument toward it. The other one is, like, I don't know. When it comes to affection, yeah, hugging, hand-holding, sure, all that. Actual kissing, I'm a prude on this. I don't really want to see kids kissing. I don't know what age. Probably teenagers. Teenagers where I'm fine with that, but anything lower than that, it's kind of weird. And that can just be my own bias on that, because you could say, kissing is not really, it's not only about, it's not like sexual love, it also is just love between people. Like, after all, I'm a fan of Kirby. Kirby kisses everyone when he shares his food, right? Kissing can just be signs of affection that are not sexual. It's just like, I love this person very much, and I'm showing I love them with a kiss. It's still kind of weird to me, but I can understand that. Like, I'm not going to kiss my kids on the lips. I'm going to kiss them on the cheek, kiss them on the forehead, kiss them on the head. But yeah, the lip kissing is always weird to me. Like, Tom Brady, I think, kisses his kids like that. I'm like, that's weird. That's weird to me. Lips? That's weird to me. But that's me. Don't think there's anything else to say in this vlog. I went all over the place in this vlog. It just got really political. But yeah, why do I read multiple sources? Because that's just the scientist thing to do. You do multiple sources so you get multiple angles, multiple observations of the same thing, so you can understand it better. That's why I do it. And at the end of the day, from all the shit I've read, I don't know how you can be on the Republican side of a lot of things. I just know how you can. I don't know how you can be about women's rights and be on the Republican side. I don't know how you can do that. I don't know how you can be a minority and be on the Republican side. I just don't know how you can do that. It's not like the Democrats are great either, but they at least are trying. Like, Republicans decided the racist vote was better than the minority vote at whatever years ago. They decided that. And that is so frustrating. The racist vote should be for nobody. No one should be wanting the racist vote. Because what happens is the minorities are like, I don't have a choice. Either I go with the Democrats who are at least trying to do something for me, or I go with the Republicans who think I'm subhuman. Which one do I go with? When it should be the racists going like, well, nobody wants my vote, so I'll just vote whatever the hell I want. That's what it should be. The racists should be the ones who feel like they're powerless, not the minorities. And yet, it's where we are. This is where we are. So that's the vlog. That was all over the damn place. I had fun. Hope you have fun watching. And look, if you are a Republican, I've been a Republican most of my life. I just can't be one anymore. I've said that before. A lot of my life I was a Republican, and then I just saw the bullshit and like I couldn't be it anymore. And if you're still a diehard Republican, fine. Now, if you're diehard Trump, I don't know what to say between me and you on that. I really don't. I don't know how you can still be on that side. I just don't know how you can be. All the bullshit that's happened, all the things that were the combination of his bullshit, I don't know how you can be anymore. I really don't. You can still be a GOP and hoping for the old guard, but even then you got Mitch McConnell's the old guard, and that's some bullshit he's been pulling. It pains me what the GOP is now. It really does. I was raised to believe it was a party of integrity, and they've done so much hypocrisy and bullshit, it's so frustrating. It really is. That's the vlog. I had fun. Hope you had fun watching. That's what it's all about, is having fun. Thanks for coming by, and see you next time. I'm gonna go play Elden Ring.